Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Alt Kings podcast. I'm your host, Tate, with my co-host, Corbin, and today we have the project accelerator and launchpad of the Hedera Hashgraph, Headstarter, with their founder, Tudor. How you doing, man?
Hey, guys. Good to be here. Thanks for having me. It's been a long time coming.
Good to have you. It's very, very exciting. There's so much going on with you all, and why don't we just dive right into it?
Yeah, let's. There's a lot to talk, right?
Yeah.
I always say to people that crypto is 1 day per hour, and we've been really deep in the Hedera ecosystem over the past year or so with Headstarter, and it definitely feels like it's been a long time. There've been so many developments, and yeah, it's just a pleasure to see the ecosystem growing in.
Incredible.
Happy that you guys took a liking to our space and really love the work that you guys are doing in highlighting some of the best projects.
Likewise. We're not here for only the best.
Yeah,
we're here for the ones that want to grow the most as well, and that just comes with, I guess you could say, time and money at this point in the game. But let's just dive straight into it. You guys call yourselves a project accelerator, and when you say project accelerator, what do you mean?
Yeah, well, so let me start from the beginning. So I've been in the Hedera space from soft times, and was kind of like outside looking in. Never really was like a true insider, so to say. But I had a group of some passionate HBAR some former Hedera ambassadors from back in the day. And we really were mind blown of what can be built on Hedera, because it's unlike any other blockchain. So in my opinion, and I think the technology should open up the imagination of a lot of folks. And I started pretty early on trying to build something on Hedera. Obviously, I've been in the crypto space class of 2017, and been meddling around with DeFi on other protocols, advisory, organizing a crypto meetup here in Dubai, and we really wanted to do something palpable on Hedera, and that's why I co-founded the project in 2019, I believe, or 2020. It's called Taskbar. So it's a gig economy marketplace. But back in those days, from all the other projects that we're building on Hedera, we really saw that the ecosystem is being underfunded. There's a lot of people that are passionate, that are trying to develop applications on top of Hedera. But unfortunately, there wasn't that much VC interest, angel investor interest, and everybody was kind of like bootstrapping, right? And you see some of the earlier projects that are still chugging along, right? You see Walla Wallet, for example, and they've been in the space forever, right? And because of this, because we wanted to help grow the Hedera ecosystem, I realized that funding plays a very, very important role. And that's why the first thing that we did once we heard about the smart contracts 2.0, that finally you're going to have smart contracts interact with token service, we realized that we're going to be able to deliver on something that has been very popular in other layer ones, which is the Launchpad concept, right? So an ideal Launchpad was the first milestone that we wanted to achieve with Headstarter. And we did so. As soon as the smart contracts 2.0 were live, we worked very fast. I remember even now the devs are still blame me for the pressure that I put on them to really push the envelope there. We got the smart contract audit, and we went there as fast as we could with the IDO for our native token, the HST token. And since then, we realized that obviously there weren't the best of market conditions. But speaking to projects, and we've been speaking to, I think to date, more than 150 projects that either are trying to build on Hedera to some extent, have been building on Hedera, but they need help with different things. We realized that in order for us to be able to have as many projects come to the moment that they launch on the mainnet and they have this IDO event or INO event, right? When they finally, let's say, open up to mainnet, they still need support with various areas, and it can be from legal, it can be in terms of development, it can be human resources, all over the place. There's various projects that have various needs, and that's why we wanted to make sure that we can provide a 360 solution for all the projects that are building in the Hedera space, where inside the accelerator they can leverage the services that they might need and help them grow to the point that they are ready for an IDO, INO event. Not only that, but one other mile that we want to go with the accelerator and what we're pushing for a lot is making sure that not only we have the service providers and the mentors to be able to take these projects to the next level, but we also want to make sure that we have the avenues necessary for them to tap into funding, whether that's venture capital funding, whether that's angel investment. There can be multiple avenues there. But obviously, in order for projects to grow into the blue chip projects that will be representatives for the Hedera network going outside into the mainstream, you need to make sure that you have a lot of backing for these projects. And that's why we call ourselves an accelerator. We have different layers to this process, and we are working towards streamlining it a lot more. And that's one of our main focuses right now. We're helping them sometimes informally, but we want the accelerator to go into a whole new, let's say, on whole new phase going forward, and that's one of our priorities.
Nice. So it's more or less an all-in one-stop shop for anything sort of Hedera related, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking to develop really anything on Hedera or get any sort of funding, you can come to Headstarter and they will guide you along the whole entire way. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Provided you're willing to KYC.
Yeah, exactly.
Not necessarily. I mean, KYC is an interesting topic, and maybe we can discuss about it a bit, because in the crypto space, with such with where regulations are still unclear, a lot of people are in a position where they want to innovate in DeFi, they want to innovate in the Web3 space, but certain regulations where they are located in, or they just want to maintain a level of anonymity so that in case they come under scrutiny, then they won't suffer the consequences. And we've seen this trend a bit in the Web3 space over 2022, where there were a lot of projects that were pushing innovation and they were staying anonymous or pseudonymous, not because necessarily they had bad intentions, but because of they were concerned and they were trying to walk the fine line that unfortunately we have to in as entrepreneurs in the crypto space. And on the KYC side, obviously, I mean, once regulations will be more clear, and we're probably months away from having more clear regulations from the EU side of things. Not sure about the US, but there's certain silos around the world, right, that have regulations. Speaking of Dubai, where I'm located, that you have the VARA regulations, and there is a lot more other places in the world, from Singapore to BVI, that are formulating the right kind of framework so that projects that are building in the Web3 space can have the clarity necessary for them to confidently pursue their intentions.
Transparency to build.
Yeah, it's important. It's important. And we don't, for IDOs, for example, we employ currently KYC, but obviously as soon as we can, we definitely want to have like some zero knowledge on-chain identity, because that's the holy grail, right? And when it comes to regulations, when it comes to certain, let's say, aspects of the blockchain technology that want to be implemented by the governments and institutions, we need to make sure that these features are implemented in the right way, so that the technology is used to enhance our current life rather than it going down the dystopic route. So I think it comes under all our responsibility to be good pioneers for a better future, I guess.
Yeah. Better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah. One thing about KYCing is, I just realized this recently. Like, anybody can KYC and stay anonymous if they desire. And the way that I realized this was, so I was in a Twitter Spaces, and I forgot exactly who said it, but it was during the time that Hedera got compromised. So I guess later this last week, and they simply said that anybody could really KYC, and all they'd have to do simply is just get some homeless person's information. Find a homeless person's identification, maybe slip them $20, who knows? But there's many ways of getting around to that KYC loophole that I feel aren't really taken so seriously. And, once you're able to get KYC from somebody else's identification, it could possibly, you could get away with a lot, I feel as if. But there's also a lot that you won't get away with in the same time. Just an idea. I don't know.
There are. I definitely agree with you. There are loopholes in the current TradFi system. There are loopholes to get around the current crypto system. And speaking of the exploit, right? I know a lot of people that have been trying to track down from the Hashgraph Explorer who is the wallet that did the exploit, and then narrowed down the search to a memo phrase that is related to his Binance account. Yeah. So if this guy did the KYC with his identity on Binance, then authorities should be able to track him down. If he didn't, right, then we can speak about these loopholes that, unfortunately, I'm not sure how to go circumvent and fix them.
Yeah, it's just something to kind of just keeping the topic of discussion when it comes to compromises and stuff, because it's unfortunate that there are still ways of being untraceable. But then again, it is also a positive, because that's the whole point of Web3 is decentralization. If you want to stay anonymous, you have that ability of doing so, although there might be risk, but it's a good factor, I'd say.
Just look at Metavision.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and I think it's important to be able to continue to maintain anonymity on the internet, whether that's evolving into the Web3 space, and I think it's important for everybody's freedom, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if we put some guardrails to make sure that everybody is protected, especially when it comes to avenues as important as DeFi, whatever has financial implications, right? You still have to have certain ways to be able to protect the good actors in that space. And I think there are methods going forward in which we can have better security against rug pulls. I think right. I tell everybody in the Hedera space. Unfortunately, we don't have as many let's say reporting rails at the moment, but you can always use chain abuse to report whatever hacks you see, or you unfortunately might fall victim to. But there's more ways. We're also trying to do some work in this aspect, and I think obviously there's a lot of work to be done in the Hedera space. We're still in such a nascent phase in our growth. You have the basic infrastructural pieces there. You have a lot of HBAR variants that are very excited about every new project that's coming along, and show their support. It's really amazing, when you look at 2 years ago how far we've come, right? And I think we owe it all to the NFT movement, right? I mean, the Go Mints of the world that really pioneered NFTs on Hedera really contribute to where we are here today.
Very true.
Yeah.
My next question, Tudor, is simply, what would you say makes you more different than any other Launchpad out there?
Okay, well, everybody appeals to their segment of the community and of entrepreneurs, innovators in the space. For Headstarter, we started off, as I mentioned earlier, as an IDO launchpad. So we employ smart contract functionality to facilitate swaps between native HBAR at the moment and a new HDS fungible token of the project. And this is the first functionality that we came out with. Now, there are a lot of projects that are ready to launch on Hedera that have fungible tokens. Sometimes it's a matter of timing, sometimes it's a matter of strategy. That's why we decided to also tap into the NFT space. That's why we have these unique NFT drops. First, we had them with Earthlings, which is one of the leading projects on Hedera. I think their metaverse is going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward for Headstarter to having an awesome office there in the Earthlings land. Patrick promised me that our office will be in a prime location, and I'm really looking forward to having some of these meetings over there. One thing that we want to do in the Earthlings metaverse is whenever there's a new project that's coming along, and we do this kind of like informally on Discord, where we dissect the project from tokenomics to strategy to viability. And we encourage everybody to do so. And we want to do this in a open town square type format.
Sure.
And I envision that happening in the Earthlings metaverse. So we facilitated an NFT drop for them. To my knowledge, I think is the first time there was an NFT mint that was done through smart contracts. So the NFTs themselves were not pre-minted. Rather, whenever anybody was on the platform and was clicking the mint button, the smart contract was actually minting the NFT. It was going through the Hedera random number generator to be able to assure that there is a lot of that nobody can game and try to get the more rare NFTs. Sure. And right now we're doing this innovative drop with Citadel Wallet, and with Citadel Wallet, they came up with a very interesting concept where they have the NFT that is associated with a physical item. We call them phygital NFTs, and it's in a way it is like a pre-sale or a more traditional crowdfunding event for the wallet themselves. And I think it really speaks volumes to the versatility of Web3 crowdfunding platforms such as ours. And going forward, we also have a lot of exciting announcements in the works. I mean, I know that we've been active, but we continue to do so because over the bear market, we never stopped working. And there's a lot of interesting projects in the pipeline that I'm very excited to be able to discuss with you guys in the weeks and the period to follow. But I think that one thing that really sets us apart is that in all the projects that we push forward through our Launchpad, we take them through a thorough vetting process. We try to make sure that the projects are as viable as possible, because we have a responsibility towards our community and towards our utility token holders to put forth to them only the projects that we believe are blue chip, they're most serious, they check all the boxes, and they are primed to be successful and to really have legs going forward.
Nice.
That's why I just wanted to mention, speaking about security and speaking about the vetting process, there's a product that we have released a few months back with support of the Hashgraph DeFi Alliance and Saucer Swap and Stader, which is called the Sentinel project. And you can find it at sentinel.headstarter.org. And what it does, we took from our project vetting process, we took the elements that are most objective or binary, so to say, and we try to expose it to the community so that they can have a basic DYOR to start with, whenever they consider interacting with a new project that has a fungible token. So the Sentinel project reports are being used currently by Saucer Swap, and their community votes on whitelisting the projects based on the report on Sentinel.
That's exciting to hear.
Cool idea.
Yeah, definitely. So what are the projects that have launched through the Launchpad so far, Tudor? It's been Earthling, soon to be Citadel Wallet. Is there anything else by chance?
No, the markets have not been kind with us, and that's the reason why we are working so hard on the accelerator.
Gotcha. What is the percentage you charge for the Launchpad by chance?
It varies because we are going to, for the projects, so we have two formats of launches. We have a standard IDO or INO, and we have an accelerated IDO and INO. And based on the amount of support that we need to offer for those projects to launch, whether we need to do some customized development on the Launchpad, whether we need to help them with different service providers, the fees vary. So there is no exact percentage there.
Gotcha. Okay. Is there like a percentage that varies between? Is it like 3 to 5%, or is it like higher than 5%?
So it can be higher than 5%. Gotcha. And sometimes, depending on so our model is, knowing that the projects that we launch, we believe that they are some of the best projects that are launching in the space. We also have faith in their longevity. That's why the model can vary, because we are also comfortable with token equity. There is no exact number there.
For sure. Well, that's great to hear. That means you have really no limits when it comes to sort of development. You're able to do a wide variety of things and provide a lot to whatever projects are really needing.
And not only that, as we continue to grow, we want to be able to support these projects with a basic toolkit of functionalities that they will be able to tap into. So let's say, for example, that you have a project that's on refi and it has a fungible token for carbon credits, let's say. And then you might have an associated utility token. That utility token, for example, you might have a pre-sale to it, you might have an IDO. You need to have treasury management, hopefully through a multisig. Then whenever you're distributing tokens to your investors, you want that to be done automatically through a smart contract. So the multisig functionality, the smart contract for token vesting, are some of the other components that we will be supporting projects that launch through us on demand, of course, to really help them with some of the things that probably most of the projects need. So yeah, I mean, our goal obviously is to make sure that the Hedera ecosystem grows, and this is what we're set out to do as our core mission at Headstarter, to make sure that we offer the Hedera ecosystem the right tools, the right support, the right mentorship services and funding, so that they can expedite their growth and really take them from concept all the way to mainnet success. And this is something that all the other layer ones have, and I feel like it's our responsibility to deliver it for Hedera.
Sure. Yeah, having a sort of all-in-one solution like that is definitely important, and also being kind of like a liaison to the HBAR Foundation for projects that are trying to build huge things, but like they just need some more capital, right? So it's nice that somebody has a voice for the little guy, so to speak.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But I totally agree, and obviously the HBAR Foundation plays a huge role. Like
Sure.
Hedera really started to be on everybody's radars since the HBAR Foundation came live, because I've been going to crypto conferences in 2020, and I've been telling people that we're building on Hedera, and most of the people were asking, what's Hedera? So I'm always shocked, when I see people that are allegedly in the crypto space and they don't know a top 40 market cap coin. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. Like right now, everybody knows about Hedera, knows about the potency of the HBAR Foundation, but we don't want to fully rely on them, because obviously the treasury is based on HBAR, right? And we want to make sure that we're going to continue to see funding for projects building on Hedera, and we want to make sure that this has legs. And the only way that we do that is that we can growingly detach from the dependency of grants from the foundation.
Sure. Private sector, really.
And help HST really rise, because I think that's kind of like it's actually kind of a genius idea as like a way of raising capital, because then you can also recycle that into helping the projects that you guys are launching. Cool idea. I like it.
Yeah, it's not only HST but yes, indeed, we will be growingly trying to give out grants in HST, but we also have other ecosystem partners that might be very interested in that, VC partners, etc.
Sure. I know one strategic partnership that just has been sort of announced is your partnership with Citadel and Hashpack. You mind going into that at all?
Yeah, so Headstarter is the Launchpad and the accelerator, and we have a software development arm that's called Builder Labs. Now, Builder Labs, the first thing that we built out as Builder Labs, we built out a Hedera SDK wrapper. It's really the dev tool that really enabled us to build Headstarter so quickly, and we believe that is useful for everybody building on top of Hedera. It's called Venin.js. You can find it on the Builder Labs website in our resources. And our software development arm is responsible for the development of Headstarter, but one of the early advisors for Headstarter was Andy, aka HBAR to the Moon. We're very lucky to have him as part of the core team so early on, and we flew him over from LA for our coming out party, with Hedera in Dubai last year. It was just around 1 year ago, actually, and it was great fun. And I'm really happy that he really pursued his dream in really taking also Hedera to the next level through the skills that he has in aeronautics and in working with secure hardware elements. And I think that the partnership was meant to be, because we have some core team that's very passionate about firmware development. So the partnership with Citadel Wallet is multifold. First of all, we are supporting them on the Launchpad side of things. We are supporting them with some advice on that front. But our software development arm is also helping Citadel Wallet on the firmware development side of things. And we're looking forward to continue to nurture this relationship. With Hashpack, the integration flows with them when it comes to the hardware wallet side of things. But we've been working with Hashback. We've been partners as Headstarter with Hashback from the get-go, and they're awesome. An awesome team. It just speaks volumes, to the resourcefulness of the community, and it's just a heartwarming story. How all these projects like Hashback, Saucer Swap, I could go on, right? They all came out from the community and were just enthusiastic community members that wanted to make a change for the better and really drive the growth of the network. So hats off to them.
Yeah. A lot of great quality projects come out just from that. I mean, that's how we started.
Yeah, you're right.
We're just kind of sitting on the sidelines and we're like, hey, why don't we do something cool?
Yeah.
And that's excellent. There's everybody, like the space is so nascent. And I'm not talking about Hedera only. I'm talking about Web3 in general.
Sure.
There's so much need for the right people in the space. And as long as we all do our deliver on our core abilities, so to say, and we're not scared to challenge ourselves, I think it's we're off for an amazing future in the Web3 space.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's tons of opportunity out here.
Oh yeah. And sort of on that topic too, on your website, I found it interesting that like you are an all-in-one solution. You had also mentioned you also assist with community building for the projects that you guys help launch. How do you guys go about that? Is that just like a mentorship thing, or is that like a boots on the ground type of thing, or how does that work?
Well, one of the key things that I like to do with projects that are trying to come to Hedera, so there might be multi-chain projects, there might be projects that are looking for a home. The first thing that I try to do with them is connect them with OGs in the space, and not necessarily people that are founders of our project. Mainly people like community members, because you need to catch up. You need to start to have a footprint in the community, and the community warms up pretty much to a lot of projects that are showing commitment and the right intentions. So the first thing that I try to do, I try to set up the projects with an advisor from the space. And that really helps them understand how to navigate the space better. It's not only that, but when it comes to projects coming to Hedera, I want to make sure that they don't look at it like just another blockchain, just another layer one. I want them to really try to leverage the Hedera services so that their project can become unique, so that they can have a unique value proposition when it comes to the space. I don't want necessarily to see projects that are just, forking, and they're trying to come up to spin off something that's necessarily working in other layer ones. Of course, that's important. We need lending protocols. We need oracles. We need a lot of things, right? But I think that some of the most successful projects that are coming out of Hedera will really leverage consensus service, file service, so putting all of these components together really can help you drive the uniqueness of a project, whatever vertical it addresses. But yeah, going back to your earlier question, I think that it's important to know how to appeal to the HBAR population. We're still relatively small as a community, but we're very enthusiastic, and so we take gamification and building, let's say, a product with value and sustainability in mind very seriously.
Sure.
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah, honestly.
You're about growth, Tudor, and I really like that, because you want to see everybody succeed, but you want to make sure that you're not just you're not trying to see people who don't deserve to succeed. Like, you don't want people coming into the space like they achieve success, and then they just leave the space and steal all the money. You don't want to see that. So that's why you're really hesitant, I can tell, when it comes to what projects you really allowed to utilize your Launchpad and utilize the things that can really accelerate their projects. And so, I mean, hesitation is a great thing, as well as having open arms is another great thing, but you need to always be aware of who you're allowing into your inner circle, your inner circle, really, at the end of the day. And you do a really well job with that, based upon the projects you already have collaborated with, of course.
And I'm very excited for you guys to see what's up next. But what I want to say is that I don't necessarily try to discriminate or to try to make, I don't know, Headstarter an authority figure. Sure. We're definitely not that, because I'm somebody who really appreciates people that build with enthusiasm and that have the right intentions in mind. Obviously, you cannot tell all the times, but I strongly believe that some of the best projects that are currently on Hedera, some of the blue chip NFT projects, they came from people that were very ambitious and they wanted to make a change. And having ambition, having a drive, and having a commitment is something that is, I believe, very important. And most of the time, it weighs better than having the right pedigree from an awesome school, university, and, I don't know, corporate background. So yeah, I really think that there's a fine line there. And yeah, you need to kind of like be at the conjunction of both worlds and really look objectively into everybody. And I say this all the time, like some projects might fail, some projects might, I don't know, end up, the founder might disappear or might quit. That's not because he didn't have the right intentions in mind. The reality of the actions that he set himself out to do might be something that he cannot cope with, and he might have started off with the best intentions in mind. So I always try to keep an open mind there.
And not everybody coming into this space are business people at the end of the day, and that really can set aside whether or not you make or break it. Because I mean, you might be a quality structured artist, but once you obtain these funds, you might not know what to do next with the funds. And then that's when you start to really burn yourself dry too quickly. And we can see that all the time, not just on Hedera, but on plenty of other spaces as well. And even outside of the Web3 space, including Web2, there's so many people out there who just, either do some sort of public launch where they raise a lot of money and then they burn themselves dry in less than a year because they don't know how to utilize the money at the end of the day. And it shows a lot, but at the end of the day, it comes down to just trial and error and learning from your mistakes, even if you were never really destined to make those mistakes.
I couldn't agree more, Tate. Yeah, it's not something, a phenomenon in the Web3 space. It's in our world in general.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have one last question for you, Tudor, but I'd love to save it till the end. So, Corbin, if there's anything else out there for you.
Sure. Yeah, I just had sort of like a basic question about like what are the utilities and like the purpose of the NFTs that you guys have created, and then also HST token.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's a great question. So we do have some NFT coins, and all of our NFTs have a certain set of utilities. And what we wanted to do through the NFTs, we wanted to make sure that, so we saw a lot of launchpads in the other ecosystems, in other layer ones. And a lot of them might employ staking to keep people committed to offset the sell pressure. But a lot of the times what you will see is that in order for users to participate in an IDO launch, they might need to have a certain quota of that token. But as soon as the snapshot or that IDO ends, you might have a off period of a few weeks until the next release. And you see a drop in the token price as people start selling off their token because they managed to enter the IDO. So we wanted really to make sure that we try to offset this sell pressure through the utility NFTs. And that's why we have coins. We have bronze, silver, gold, and exclusive. Each one boosts your chances of getting an IDO allocation by a certain percent. And we might also, some of the, I think the most exclusive ones offer you an allocation in perpetuity. And we also have another set of NFTs, which are we call them select and legacy OG NFTs. And these were awarded to users that had faith in us early on last year, in June and July, when we had our IDO for our token, and we were launching in the midst of the bear market. Like I think that sentiment was more negative than it is today, and those times. And we wanted to make sure that we recognize their trust in us. That's why the privileges, for example, that those NFTs bear is that we treat the holders as our advisors for the project, and we have monthly, respectively, quarterly calls with them where we tell them what we've done, what our plans are. We get their feedback, and we really act upon their remarks and concerns as normal advisors would. That's why we mentioned on our website the card holders as part of our advisory team. And the HST token, as I mentioned earlier, the core functionality of it is for it to serve as a gateway or a commitment of holders to secure allocations in the upcoming launches. And we want, for beginning, we're trying to keep a very low barrier. That's why, for example, for the NFT raises currently, there is no HST threshold that users need to hold. Because we want to welcome everybody to the Hedera space. We wanted to make sure that we have a few very successful launches under our belt. And going forward, the HST token, we will not only have the utility that it serves as a entry pass to the IDO space, but we have some other interesting gamifications along the line. We have something that we call stake pools that I'm very excited about. It's an interesting DeFi product that we're working on that I'm very excited to see launched. And we're going to have increasingly more and more gated functionalities that will really, let's say, drive the utility and the demand for the HST token going forward. And what we want to do is to make sure that there's enough velocity that the token can generate in conjunction with the Headstarter as an accelerator, as a launchpad, to make sure that you don't see volatility in it when it comes to certain events. You don't see as much volatility in it, and it can also secure enough volumes to offset any negative. Okay, not negative, but let's say less favorable events.
Sure.
So that's why we're very protective with the token. And that's something that, again, is something that strikes home. When it comes to projects looking to raise a certain amount, right? How do you make sure that you raise the right amount so that your token holders don't end up holding the short side of the stick later on? A lot of the times in the bull market, and this is generally the top of the bull market, you see projects that have just an idea and they're looking to raise millions, but they don't know exactly why or how much. And whenever we're speaking to projects, we want to make sure that you raise the right amount and you have a certain, let's say, plan for all the proceedings of your raise. That you have the runway, but also you don't expose yourself to a lot of sell pressure, so to say, for your token going forward. And that's why we pride ourselves in making sure that our token will have the right growingly many utilities, as well as it would be very, very useful in multiple ways interacting with the platform and the app.
Exciting.
Awesome.
You guys are doing great, Tudor. I mean, you're killing the game already, and look forward to everything else coming into 2023. But moving into 2023, what can we expect from Headstarter?
Wow, that's a great question. So we only started 2023, and we want to make sure that let's say we don't necessarily rely on these bull and bear cycles for them to dictate the amount of innovation that comes into space. My main let's say priority is to make sure that we build out formally the accelerator. We want to make sure that we release it successfully, and we have some of the best projects part of the accelerator. The community would be fronted with them, and wanting to make sure that these projects will also come to mainnet this year. So the accelerator program, along as with all the other components, whether that's the funding avenues, the service provider partnerships, they all come together under the accelerator umbrella, and we'll be able to make sure that we're going to have some successful projects come to life this year. We do have a good pipeline of projects. As I mentioned earlier, some projects might opt or might not need acceleration, but we want to make it a standard that you're going to have at least, let's say, 3 or 4 projects that are launching on Headstarter every quarter. And I'm looking forward for that thing to really be successful. We're all pulling together and burning ourselves out through over the past year or so to make sure that this is reality. And we want to make sure that Hedera not only gets the right recognition from the crypto markets at large, but we also want to make sure that the projects coming out of Hedera really are set themselves apart in comparison to the ones in the other space. So 2023 is an important year. It's still a year in which we have time to build out the infrastructure. The last thing that we'd want is to not be ready for what's, in my opinion,
mass
inevitable.
Yeah, exactly.
2023 is the year of growth for Headstarter. I'm looking forward to it all, and it seems as if you guys are killing it already. That is it from me. Corbin, I'm not too sure if you have any more.
That's it from me, my friend.
Well, Tudor, it's been a true pleasure. If there's anything else you'd like to say to leave off on a good note, by all means, now's the time. But I truly appreciate your time.
I appreciate you guys having me. It's been swell catching up. Looking forward to doing this probably a lot more frequently. Maybe we can find some other avenues in which we can highlight through the Alt Kings some of the leading projects that are coming up in the space. I think that making sure that we raise awareness when it comes to the uniqueness of the Hedera hashgraph technology will really help propel this space faster.
Definitely.
And it's been a privilege to speak with you guys today. I'm really happy that we finally got the time to do it. And stay tuned. There's a lot of things that are coming out of Headstarter. Citadel wallet is dropping at the end of the month. And in the meantime, we're going to have some other interesting events that I'm very excited for, and I cannot wait to share it with everybody.
I'm going for that golden night, that's for sure. But hey, we should definitely host a Twitter space sometime. That'd be a fun time as well. I see you guys do a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Looking forward to it.
Well, thank you once again, Tudor. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Alt Kings podcast, and we will see you all next episode. Peace. Nice.